Hello, welcome everybody out there in live TV land. I'm the Littleboy, host of the Roundtable with Littleboy. It's a sports discussion show. Today I have Darren from PFP Sports.
Thanks for having me.
And we have Mark in studio.
A nobody.
Mark is a listener who wanted to come in and weigh in on a few topics, so he came in, which is something that any one of you out there could do. You can call in also, 619-387-3457. You can tweet into the show at LBHost. I'll be monitoring that during the show. And let's get right down to it. They are talking about bringing criminal charges against some of the players that were involved with the BountyGate scandal with different teams, not just the Saints. And I just want to see what your guys' thoughts are. Do you believe that they should actually be charged criminally outside of football for something that happened on the football field? Actually, I'm going to go ahead and start with you, Mark. What do you think?
I don't think so. If you're wearing all those pads, it's awful hard to do anything but maybe rip someone's cheek.
Yeah. What do you
think? You can get a finger in.
What do you think, D?
No, I don't think so. I think this whole thing is a joke to begin with, but who are they to tell them what they can and can't do with their money? You know, if they want to give a teammate $5,000-$10,000 for a hard hit, who are they to say they can't do that?
Yeah, I see what your point is.
It'd be one thing if we're saying, hey, here's $10,000, why don't you go help someone kill that guy? That's one thing. We're not doing that here, though.
Well, the problem is, when you're talking about paying somebody for getting a sack, and when you're paying somebody for getting an interception or something like that, that's actually the reason why that's illegal is you're actually circumventing the salary cap, and that's the reason for that. Now, if you're paying someone to injure somebody, I'm not sure whether that's going to change the way they play or not. Everybody's trying to hit everybody hard anyway, so you know that we've discussed all that and everything.
No more rules. There's enough rules. They've taken the oh gosh, I don't even know how to say it. Hitting a quarterback is like a thing of the past.
Yeah.
Yeah, they really have. Oh, we got a phone call. All right.
They're going right in.
All right.
Yeah, they're on there.
Hello, you're on Roundtable. Who's this?
This is Dave from Lakeside.
Hey, Dave. How you doing?
I'm doing all right.
Great. Thanks for calling in. What do you think? Do you think they should be bringing criminal charges against the players involved in the BountyGate?
You know, I don't really know much about that. I was actually calling about NASCAR. You guys were talking about NASCAR last week.
Sure.
Yeah.
Are you okay to talk about that right now?
Absolutely. Anything's on the table.
Well, I think I took offense as to what you said about them not being athletes.
Uh-huh.
You're going around 200 miles an hour for about 3 hours, you know. You can't go to the bathroom. You can't eat nothing. I just don't understand it, and I just don't think you guys need to get your head out of your asses. You don't know what you're talking about.
Well, I don't think that we said that. I think there's a difference between being fit and being an athlete, and we definitely think that they're fit. That is for sure.
Well, the conditioning to keep it up, to keep the concentration in the heat of those vehicles. Yeah. And I have a hard time in traffic on the way here, and that was 45 minutes. These guys are well conditioned, and these guys are super fit, but I don't know. I guess it all depends on your definition of athlete, because there are definitely drivers in NASCAR that are athletes, but you're not an athlete because you're in NASCAR.
And that goes for any sport.
Yeah, and that goes for any sport. Same thing with baseball. You can
not
make
necessarily. You can drink a beer and still bowl good.
Well, I no means call myself an athlete. You know, I mean, I can barely even sit down 15 minutes on my riding lawnmower. I'm just saying that, you know, for them to be sitting in there that long, be taking those kind of hits and then bounce back and come back either like right away or even the next week. I mean, I think that's something kind of cool, you know, and for you guys to sit there on your high horse, I think it's a little bit ridiculous.
Well, I disagree with you saying that we sit on our high horse. Like I said before, mad props to those guys out there. They are fit, and they are in really good shape, and you certainly have to have a lot of stamina. I think it just boils down to whether or not what your definition of athlete is. You know, we're not sitting there saying that these guys are just these fat guys that don't do anything. These guys put a lot of time and a lot of effort into their trade, whether or not you want to call it a sport or not. I actually personally believe it's a sport. So I'm gonna.
I agree with you. Yeah, absolutely.
But I guess it all depends on what your definition of athlete is.
And for the record, I mean, we're both NASCAR fans,
yeah.
so I don't really get where you're at with this, Dave. It's basically like Littleboy said here. It's your definition of an athlete,
right?
And I'm a huge baseball fan, but I'm not going to go and say every baseball player is an athlete.
Right.
It's just not the case.
Right.
And you could say that for every sport.
Yeah.
I'm sure you all follow number 48 right out here in your own backyard here.
I actually went to high school. I went to high school with him.
Did you?
Did you really?
I sure did.
Fantastic.
I sure did.
You're going to be another champion this year, I'll tell you that.
Okay, Dave, we're going to let you go. We got another phone call coming in.
And it wasn't me, Dave. I wasn't here.
Thank you. Hey, hello. You're on the round table with Littleboy. Who's this?
Yeah, this is Ralph.
Ralph. Hey, how you doing? Thanks for calling in.
Right on. Who's this?
This is Littleboy.
Littleboy, how you doing? Are you hanging out with the guys from Pound for Pound?
Yes, I am. One of the guys from Pound for Pound is here right now. Darren is here, and we got Mark in studio right now.
Tell Darren, I said, what's up? Darren, can you hear me?
I can. What's up, Ralph?
What's up, buddy? How you been?
Good. How you doing?
Pretty good. Just wanted to call in and be part of the party.
Awesome. Awesome. You have any specific subjects you want to talk about?
You know what? I'm kind of curious to hear Darren's picks for the April 21st bouts.
Well, you know what? We go live on our Pound for Pound sports show. We actually tape that later tonight. So as much as I'd love to share that with you here, I'm going to kind of save that for our own show.
Good call.
Call in after 7 because he'll be back on the air after 7 for the fights.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Darren, when are you going to go to one of those jiu-jitsu matches with us, buddy?
Is this the Ralph?
This is the Ralph.
Oh, what's up, man? You know what? I tell Nick all the time, man. That's for a special kind of MMA fan to just strictly do the jiu-jitsu stuff. So, give mad props to you for training that stuff. But I'm not sure that's something that interests me, to be quite honest with you.
Okay. Would you ever be interested to check it out one time?
Jiu-jitsu match? Actually watch it?
Yeah.
I'll try just about anything one time. But like I said, he's really, really into watching jiu-jitsu matches. I know you guys. Did you go with him to the Pan Ams last weekend?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so he that stuff really interests him. I don't know. I can't really say that the same for me. I love it as part of MMA, but to just go to a straight jiu-jitsu match, I'm not sure that's for me. But yeah, I'd check it out, sure.
Okay, well I'll invite you next time, man. I think it'd be interesting, especially watching guys at top level jiu-jitsu black belts snapping arms and breaking legs.
That's what they do.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I'm sure it's a complete different atmosphere than what I'm used to seeing an MMA fight.
Oh, my goodness.
I just wanted to call in because I got to leave work, but I wanted to say I love what you guys are doing. Your Pound for Pound's awesome, and it's good talking to you, man.
Yeah, good talking to you, man. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thanks for calling, Ralph. We got another phone call. We're going to go to the next one. Hello, you're on the air with Roundtable with Littleboy. Who's this?
This is BT. Who is this?
Hey, BT. Wow, how you doing? This is Littleboy. You're our third phone call today.
Good.
We were actually talking about criminal charges being brought up against the players from BountyGate. What do you think?
It depends on the charges. I don't think there should be any charges, but you also got to think if it's anything like a battery, which would probably be the most likely, misdemeanors have a ability to go stale. After days, they go stale.
The thing is,
police terms.
Yeah, the thing is, what happens on the field is part of the game. I mean, unless you've got a guy coming out there with a stick and, smacking somebody with a stick or something like that.
They don't call it protection for nothing.
Yeah, I mean, you got somebody, even if you get somebody in the heat of the moment, whip off their helmet and start using it as a weapon, I can maybe even see maybe something with that, but,
we're talking about clean hits. We're talking about clean hits at the end
How
of the day.
many referees and judges are on the field at one time, all looking at the action?
Right.
Not like soccer where there's one.
Right. You don't send someone to jail for tackling a quarterback and breaking his leg. That's just part of the deal. We're going to actually move on to the next subject. If you wanted to stay with us there, BT. Former quarterback Ryan Leaf was arrested twice in 1 week. He was arrested March 30th and April 2nd. Looks to me like he just has a real bad drug problem. As a fan of San Diego, I loved the guy. Then I hated the guy for a long time, and then I heard him interviewed a little while ago, and I started to feel bad for him, and I really liked him, Looks like we're getting another phone call.
Ignore that.
What do you guys think? Are you still there, BT?
Yeah.
What do you think about Ryan Leaf? You feel bad for him, or are you kind of angry with him, or what do you feel about him?
See, as a San Diego fan, I feel more pity than dislike. I'm not a San Diego fan. I'm an East Coast guy, but I feel pity for him. Falling so, I mean, think about it. You're taking one of the top picks of the draft. You get paid millions of dollars, and then you just absolutely crumble under all the pressure.
Well, that's not what he said. He said the main reason he came to San Diego, in retrospect, was to meet his bride and fell in love with Gina Lucia.
Yeah, that's
and if she's any kind of woman, how come she's not steering this guy in the right position? Are they still together?
No, they're not together anymore.
Oh, drugs do have a pull.
Yeah, and he had he even admitted, and that's what I kind of liked about him, is he basically said everything that had happened bad to him was his fault, and he kind of took ownership of everything that he had done, which kind of made me become a bit of a fan of his. And with these arrests, I used to root against him. When he got arrested the first time, I was so happy that finally, because I couldn't, what I wanted to call him, I couldn't say on the air right now. But the more I hear him, I just feel bad for him. I want him to straighten his life out. I kind of like the guy. What do you think, Dean?
No, I'm with you. I thought he was a fantastic interview. I remember I was sitting at home and when I heard that Ryan Leaf was going to get interviewed, I just canceled all my plans for the rest of the day. I had to hear that, but you know what? I mean, it is sad looking at. I mean, how bad could you feel for a guy who was on top of the world and basically just pissed away all of his talent?
Exactly.
But at the same time, I mean, he's a human being. He's a dude. I mean, he's going to make mistakes. I thought he had all that stuff in the past, but I mean, it's obviously that it's just drugs or was it pills or something? I know that's what he got arrested for last time.
Yeah, I think it's painkillers.
And it's obviously got a hold on him, man. He's got to let it go because it's too bad. Not only did he piss his career away, but I mean, it looks like he's starting to piss his life away.
He didn't need a career. He had all that money up front. What would any of us have done with all that money? Saved a little. Come on.
You think it's so easy to say, but if I got a big, I've gotten chunks of money before, from different, tax return or whatever, and I always say, we're going to put away this, and we always blow it all. I mean, it's really hard to say that. If somebody dropped $1 million on my lap right now, it'd be real easy to say that I'm going to invest this and I'm going to do that. But I'm going to go spend it and have fun too. And you got to remember, when you're making that money, you always feel like it's never going to end, and you're going to keep making it, and you're going to keep making it. And he's always been successful through his whole life, so it's real hard for me to judge him on that. We're going to move on. We got tied up at the beginning with a few phone calls, so let's move on real quick.
All right, guys. I'm gonna head out.
Are you gonna go?
Talking to you guys for a minute.
We appreciate the phone call.
Great show today, by the way, BT.
Yeah, we watched the show earlier. It was outstanding.
I thought it was good.
Yeah, it looks like I've made a new friend. But y'all have a good one.
All right, see you.
Ubaldo Jimenez, excuse me, try saying that, plunked Troy Tulowitzki in a spring training game. I always call them preseason games. Spring training game. Mm-hmm. Everybody knows it was on purpose. The interesting thing about that was Jim Tracy came out and said it was the worst thing he'd ever seen, which I thought was...
35 years.
In 35 years. Bit of an overreaction. I know you have strong feelings on this, D. I'm going to make you hold off for just a second. And we're going to go to Mark. What do you think about that?
The reason he's not pitching for the Rockies anymore is because he couldn't find the strike zone. He's obviously a little wild to hit someone. I'm not sure any pitchers want to hit people. It's not how you become a good pitcher in baseball these days.
Yeah, I think that especially in spring training, he's not as worried about what happens when the guy gets on base. I think he was trying to send him a message because, I know why, but I know why because I heard more of the background from Darren, so I'm going to let him talk about it. What do you think?
First off, Jim Tracy, you make me sick by saying that's the most gutless move you've ever seen in 35 years of baseball. I am completely opposite on that. I think it's one of the ballsier moves I've ever seen. If you're going to sit there and talk trash about a teammate after the guy gets traded, you got to expect a pitch coming your way, So I don't know what they were expecting. If, granted, Troy Tulowitzki is that team. I mean, they got some good pieces on that team, but he's one of the best players in baseball. So maybe he was a little upset that he went after his best player. But at the same time, Troy Tulowitzki probably should have kept her mouth shut when you're asked about Ubaldo Jimenez.
Right.
I mean, he's a man, and I think what he took notice to was the way Ubaldo Jimenez charged off the mound. But at the same time, again, these are just grown men. I mean, it's just... I don't know. The whole thing made me sick. I actually am a much bigger fan today of Ubaldo Jimenez than I was before it happened. So good for him for standing up for himself. So this is the way I look at it.
Yeah, I agree. I know that
and it wasn't like he threw it at his dome. I'm not saying he's got the world's greatest control. But we're talking about a guy that was in the Cy Young running, took that team they had a great season, and then for your star player to just come out and talk bad about you, I don't know. The whole thing irritated me.
I don't mind. I actually don't have a problem with pitchers sending messages and all that type of stuff. Now you throw one, you hit him in the face, or you do something like that, then you're going to have to take responsibility for that. You're going to try and hit somebody, then you better be sure that you're not taking away somebody's livelihood.
I'll tell you what. I've been pitching. Granted, not at this level. I've been pitching since I was 5 years old. I'm 30 now. And I've hit people for a lot less reasons than that.
Yeah.
Let me tell you. So to say that this is the worst thing he's ever seen in 35 plus years of baseball is just ridiculous.
I know that really got to you. That really got to you.
I mean, we're talking about. Please.
My guess is Jim Tracy wasn't a big fan of Ubaldo Jimenez.
Exactly.
Anyways.
Well, still, this is the National League, and pitchers have to hit. So
right.
He's gonna.
That's another thing.
What goes around comes around.
If you're in the National League, especially in the National League, if you're gonna, go for it, because you are gonna have to step up to bat. It does upset me a little bit that's a good point, that when the American League guys do that, because they're not gonna hit. I used to get so mad at Pedro Martinez when he was on the Red Sox. Not that I didn't like him, but he used to pitch with absolutely no fear because he never had to go step into the.
So you're under the impression that because he didn't have to step in the batter's box was the reason he was hitting people?
No, I think that you have less fear about stuff like that.
Absolutely, it factors in.
I think it does.
It may factor in, but I don't think that's. I think Ubaldo, if he had to go up the next inning, he would have still drilled him. So.
No, that's why I said it's National League.
He's not. He's an American League pitcher.
But he's a National League pitcher.
Yeah.
Oh, he is now. You're right. He is an American League.
I'm spring training.
Right.
Bad.
You're right. I don't believe that. The way I'll tell you what. Once he hit him, you saw him actually go right, going, "Hey, what's up?" He was.
He was
ready.
Not,
he wasn't hiding. Derek Bell style behind his manager.
I think of Derek Lee.
Derek Lee style.
What nice stab right there.
Oh man, I tried to pull that. That would have been so much funnier if I got that right. I got a note here. Actually, we actually turned off the phone just because we were getting a lot of calls and we're running late. We want to make sure we get through everything. We do appreciate the phone calls, though. We're going to open it up at the beginning of every show. Baseball season starts tomorrow. No, it doesn't. Baseball season started already. I don't even know if anybody knows this. Baseball season started a week ago when Seattle and Oakland played in Japan. Terrible idea.
What happened to the afternoon games with the Reds? The first baseball team ever. That was tradition. The parade, and then the baseball game with the Reds, and then the season was underway.
The first game wasn't even televised, was it?
The first game was televised, but it wasn't live here in the States.
Televised late.
Yeah.
And then what's so weird is you have two teams playing a game that matters, while the other teams are still playing spring training games, and then the two teams that played the game that matters come back and play more
spring schedule. Yeah.
What do you think? I'm not a fan of. I know you're trying to expand, Major League Baseball, but come on.
And at the end of the day, it wasn't like Bud Selig sent the Yankees and the Red Sox over there. I mean, he sent the A's and the Mariners.
And we know why he sent the Mariners.
He get Ichiro some love over there.
Well,
they did this a few years ago also. I mean, this isn't the first time they've ever done it. But, I agree.
We didn't have a show a few years ago.
Yeah, the time difference is just, it was terrible.
I purposely thought they sent West Coast teams because it would be closer to our time zone if they played afternoon games over there. And we could have watched them in the evening. It would have been a little late, but it wouldn't have been in
4 in the morning.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I happened to get up at 4 in the morning, and the first game I was looking for, and I couldn't find it. The second game was televised, and I didn't even look. We got, I talked to Darren later, and he goes, "Oh yeah, that game was on." I said, "I didn't even bother looking because the first game wasn't on."
I'm not doing anything at 4 in the morning unless it involves a fishing pole.
All right, that's actually all of the subjects we're going to talk about today. Once again, I'm Littleboy. You can reach me on Twitter at LBHost. You can also email me at littleboy@fatmanlittleboy.com. I did forget to mention at the beginning of the show our sponsor. Our show is sponsored by fourwheelparts.com. You can go to pmlbsports.com and click on the 4-Wheel Parts logo. We'll get a little bit of money for that. And also, when you watch the show, I know sometimes you watch it through YouTube and other places. If you watch it on pmlbsports.com, that is where it's in high definition. You're going to get the best view. Everything looks the best on the website. So watch it on the website. What do you think there? What do you got there, D?
I got nothing. Dave in Lakeside, if you're still watching, go 99. That's all I got.
I'm actually a fan of Elliott Sadler, so I watch the Nationwide. I'm a fan of the 2 car. We are fans, Dave. We are fans. We appreciate you calling in, though.
Yep.
And call back in again next week. Mark, I appreciate you coming in.
My pleasure. My pleasure. I will say I am not a fan of the American League with the 10 baseball players breaking the first rule of baseball.
I'm not a fan of the American League rules, anyways.
What do you mean? What do you mean?
With the DH and all that type of stuff.
In the book, you open the book. The very first rule is a game played by 9 players on each side, and they have 10.
Yeah. Yeah, I like it where the pitcher's bat. I think it adds more to the game and makes the managers make some more decisions.
I mean, I'm a National League guy too, but I'm a baseball guy, so I love it all.
If it was up to me, I'd rather the pitchers hit, but at the same time, it is kind of neat that the two leagues are a little bit different. That kind of makes it a little bit more intriguing when they match up.
I'll tell you what, I hear if it's up to you, if you had the choice, would you go all DH or no DH? And I bet you if there was something to change, it would be all DH.
I know. I think you're right.
But I agree. I mean, obviously I like the pitchers hitting also.
I still think it's a shame. It's like deciding a World Cup with people who are good at shooting a goal instead of playing a whole game.
That's a good.
We've talked about that. The problem is sometimes in soccer it's so hard to score the game in the last 9 days.
Well, wait until somebody drops.
Yeah, well, all you have to do is get close to them. You see them drop. We've talked about that too. Anyway.
And cry and then get an Academy Award.
We appreciate everybody joining. The show did run a little bit long, but it was because of phone calls, which we really enjoy. We look forward to hearing them again. Until next time, I'm Littleboy, Roundtable Littleboy. Take care.
Bye,
Cheers.
Everyone.